Michael Chong joins us from Ottawa. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Beverly.
Well, I guess first off, to ask you about the fact that this party obviously needs a substantial rebuild after the last election. Why now and why you?
I believe in this country, Beverly. My family and I owe everything to this country. I'm the kid of immigrant parents. My father was a Chinese immigrant from Hong Kong who came here in 1952, and my mother was a Dutch immigrant who came here in the 1960s. And both my father and my mother's family were defended and liberated by Canadian troops during the Second World War. So I literally would not be here today with you if it were not for the sacrifice of those Canadian soldiers. My father was a young boy on Hong Kong Island, and he watched as the Royal Rifles of Canada and the Winnipeg Grenadiers, Canadian soldiers in their first combat engagement of the Second World War, he watched as they valiantly tried to defend him and his family from a pretty vicious attack. And hundreds of them died, and they're still buried on Hong Kong Island. And my mother's family was liberated by Canadian soldiers during the spring of 1945. The Dutch have never forgotten that liberation. And so after the war, my parents immigrated here. And so I owe everything to this country, and I'm in this leadership race because I believe in this country, I believe in what it stands for, and I want to make a difference.
And you talk about generational change, and with regard to the story, your story, and the story of your family, when we talk about generational change, what do you tell your kids about, politics today? Because that's going to be a big sacrifice for your family as well.
Yeah, Carrie and I and our three boys, William, Alistair, and Cameron, they were all part of the decision. And we said to them, what Dad's doing is important. It's about the future of your country. And so they understand the importance of this. They understand that politics is important. It's a way to make a difference. And that if you want to make a contribution to your community, to your province, to your country, you can do that through a whole bunch of different ways. But one way to do that is through politics. And so they understand why Dad's doing this.
Tell me about the field of candidates. I mean, at the moment, it's relatively small. We've got, Kelly Leitch and Maxime Bernier, who I mentioned, but potentially a very large field of candidates. We've got some time. You've got some time to do this. But it could be a long and potentially even arduous race for you.
It's a 12-month race, and I think that's a good thing. And I think there'll be many more candidates who enter the race in the coming months, and I think that's a good thing for the party. We want a vigorous debate. We want a wide-open race where many more candidates, maybe 7, 8, or 9 candidates are in the race, so that we can attract new people to the party. I think this is an opportunity that doesn't come along very often. This is something that comes along once every 12 years or so. So for our party, it's an exciting time to have that debate, and by attracting those candidates, we'll attract those new people. And I think we can do that by attracting younger voters to the party. I think by talking about environmental issues, younger voters will be more interested in the Conservative Party. By using social media, that's another mechanism by which we can attract new people to the party. So there's an exciting opportunity for our party in the next 12 months, and I'm looking forward to being a part of that.
Michael Chong, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.